Hello and welcome, Internet, to the second episode of my new show, The Crow's Nest, where we're here to talk about anything, any time, and about whatever the fuck we feel like. Today I am with Riely.
The way you addressed the listeners as Internet sounded too strikingly similar to game theory, I think.
That was kind of the joke. You were the first person to get that.
We're here. We're gonna do a show.
Yeah, for those of you that are listening to this and not to any of my other podcasts for some reason, this is my co-host on Megazord Radio and also my editor, Riely.
Hey, I also do 1,000 other podcasts.
Almost none of which I am actually on. So
True.
I'm on a couple episodes of Issue Crew movie reviews, but that's about it. But anyway.
You're a strongly recurring guest. It's like when I was still doing the Riely Live movie review podcast, I made the decision because it was kind of my original movie review podcast. I kept changing the name based on like what was going on. It was originally the Riely movie review podcast. And then I made Kathy I made her my primary co-host, and it turned into the Riely and Kathy's Dead Name movie review podcast. And then Kathy left, or Kathy disappeared from the internet.
To go deal with things.
And so I got my friends Alexis and Dakota, and it turned into the Rad movie review podcast. But that was all
you still say are better co-hosts than me.
Oh, 1,000%.
Fuck you.
But that was all the same show. I just kept changing the name. And then when we went to the Riely Live movie review podcast, I was like, all right, no more of this changing the name in the middle of the show garbage. And even once Kathy came back and became my primary co-host again, I just treated her as a guest, even though she was in every episode. Like literally every episode said featuring Kathy or featuring Ida, which she was going by at the time.
Yeah. That's one of the ones that I found. That was part of your. She was on your furry episode.
Well, Kathy was on my furry episode, yeah.
Yeah, Kathy was on your furry episode.
But yeah, so that's the history. And then the reason why Issue Crew movie reviews came about is just because we were starting the Issue Crew. We were trying to market the Issue Crew, and the reason why movie review podcasts work is because people will sometimes just look up those movies on YouTube and find them. So It's a good thing for like searchability. So that's why I decided I wanted to move movie reviews over to the Issue Crew. So we went ahead and rebranded under Issue Crew movie reviews, and that it shall remain forever. No more. This is the final Riely movie review podcast. That's it. The Issue Crew movie reviews forever.
And here I am, stealing part of your thunder, reviewing movies that Kathy probably would have made you review if I hadn't to have said yes.
Hey, if she makes you review all of her fucking Bible thumping bullshit movies, fine by me.
I'm not watching the Bible movie. I'll make you watch those. I'm talking about like the film.
If she wants to make you watch 3-hour foreign films,
hour and a half foreign films are about all that I've agreed to so far.
Was that a foreign film you guys reviewed last week?
Yeah, it was a foreign film, but I watched it in English.
That's fair.
I did it partially to make her mad and partially because I couldn't find the French version.
Unfortunately, there is no English version of Das Boot.
I don't want to watch the French version of Das Boot, or whatever the fuck.
The French version of Das Boot. It would be the German version of Das Boot is what you're thinking of, I think.
Yeah, that. I forgot what language Das Boot is in.
You forgot what language the movie about Nazis in a U-boat is?
I forgot it was Nazis, too. I just remembered it being about people in a U-boat.
Yeah, no, it was about Nazis in a U-boat.
Okay.
It was a pretty good movie. It was too long and hard to get through, but like I think a lot of its contents were actually pretty worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's considered like a timeless classic. Like I think a lot of film reviewers hold it in very high regard.
I find it very
good on this show.
No, I refuse to.
Get Jack on. I'm sure Jack would love to talk about Das Boot.
Dude, he's already bitching about watching a movie about a show that he loves. So no.
But
Eric,
what are we watching today? Crow Royalty, host
today
of the
we are
Crow's
watching,
Nest.
or today we have watched, we just finished it, an episode of Power Rangers SPD called Perspective. And
This episode is one of
this
my favorite
episode,
episodes of all time in Power Rangers.
okay, so weird comment, just to bring off the bat, uh, like right time it starts, we get into the first morph that they have, and I swear this was intentional by someone, but they just put in a weird grunt for Sid this or during that morph, and it just threw me off for most of the episode.
Well, they all had weird grunts.
Hers wasn't necessarily a grunt.
Are you implying that it might have been a sexual moan? Is
I'm
that
like,
what
yeah,
you're? Is
yeah,
that the joke you're making? So
yeah.
funny.
Hey, it's my podcast. I can say what I want.
True. I can't. No matter how bad this podcast ends up being, it's not my call whether it goes out or not. So
Hey, this one's already going better than the one with Kathy in it.
really, it seems like you guys were doing fine from what I heard. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to bits and pieces. Just
It was a weird movie, and we ran out of things to really say after like 30 minutes.
that's fair. That's
We just
understandable.
started talking about random aspects of
I mean, today we are talking about a 20-minute TV episode, but I feel like we can actually stretch an hour of material out of this
we
because
can stretch like
I
an hour.
love this episode
We can
so
stretch like an hour and
much.
a half. Plus, we can also talk about Power Rangers content
What
and like
were
other things.
what were your impressions of the episode? I guess I didn't really get a read on it from you.
It's a good episode. Not my favorite episode by far, though.
Just the thing about it is it's so I like when they get fun. Like I like when
Oh, I
a
know.
Power Rangers episode
Oh, I know.
chooses to instead of being its usual just like a monster shows up and they fight the monster fair, they do something fun. Like I like gimmick episodes.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's totally what
the
it is.
like the
Like
murder
I'm not
like
saying it's
like
a
the
bad.
like the murder mystery episode in Zeo, the monster movie episode also in Zeo.
The monster movie episode in Time Force.
Well, that was just movies in general. I was about to mention Movie Madness.
Yeah.
What are some other like fun Power Rangers episodes?
The episode.
There's the one for Dino Thunder where they get stuck in a comic book.
There's the one from Dino Thunder where they get stuck in a video game.
Oh yeah,
That's what I
that
was
one
about
is
to say.
awesome. I forgot about that one.
I was gonna ask you if we could review that eventually.
Well,
Not
we
on
will
Megazord
review
Radio.
literally every Power Rangers
No,
episode.
not on
eventually.
Megazord Radio. I mean, like, I want to review that one early because that's also
We
that is actually one
gotta
of
we
my
gotta
favorite
not
episodes.
review a bunch of Power Rangers episodes on this show because we're gonna do them on Megazord Radio.
Oh, I know, but I just want to do one more for
That's
the
fair.
sake of that Dino Thunder episode, and then
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
be
down to do the Dino Thunder episode where they go in a video game. I'm super down for that.
because that's where like the Aba Ranger like mooks come in too, and it's just like, yeah, I like that episode a lot. They, like,
But this
replace the
episode,
Rangers.
so for those unfamiliar, this episode is a Rashomon, which is a film trope where something happens and it is recounted by different people and it's actually played out on screen.
Basically,
But each recounting is different than the other and there's inconsistencies in each.
Basically, think anytime you try and listen to a story from your friends about a time when you weren't there, you're always going to hear something different.
Yeah, like your different friends are going to give different stories.
And
But-
now, whichever friends are closer are definitely going to have closer stories to one another, but there's still going to be like major discrepancies between the two.
You see, this episode really the cast really gets to shine in this episode
Oh,
because
definitely.
this I've been very vocal about. I think the SPD cast as a cohesive unit, at least the main five, might be the best cast in Power Rangers. There's just something about them that they just really blow it out of the water. Like they're very good at conveying the characters that they are. They're very good at striking this balance between like serious SPD cop and like goofy teenager. They have it down. Like they're expertful and they really get to have some fun in this episode and it's really enjoyable.
Oh, also, Riely, I have a question.
What's up?
How did you like Skater Dude number 2 in this episode?
Skater Dude number 2. I'm not familiar.
That is Brandon McLaren's like character in the Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh yeah, we were looking at the Scooby-Doo movie earlier and we found him.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
Jackson the
was looking
Scooby-Doo
for more
movie.
movies to review on this, and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna check out the Scooby-Doo movies and see which ones I can get away with. And then I'm like, you know what? We should probably cover this one because it does have Brandon
I'll
Raymond
talk
there.
about that really shitty live action one on this show. I want to do the James Gunn ones on my show, but we can do the
Ah,
shitty one.
I don't want to do the shitty one with the girl from Lemonade Mouth and Robbie
But it'll
Amell.
be fun.
It will be, but like, I don't really want to do that movie because
Okay, well, it's your show. I can't force you to do Scooby-Doo
no,
Lake Monster
I
time.
don't want to cover that movie just because it immediate bad, but it'll be a funny review, so I'm probably gonna end up doing it anyway.
That's fair.
Like it'll be the review will do better than the movie itself did probably.
I don't know about that. Maybe if you were famous.
If I was Robbie Amell starting a podcast,
But like I imagine if like Red Letter Media did a video about Scooby Doo and the Lake Monster, it would probably be more popular than Scooby Doo and the Lake Monster is. But I don't know about Crow's Nest podcast.
we don't know how these are turned out. Our first episode doesn't come out for like another 2 days.
True, you could blow up and become extremely viral out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I could. So we don't technically know how far.
Yeah, the last
gonna go.
podcast got like 13,000 downloads. We're
Like in an hour.
pumping up. We're pumping up, boys.
Yeah. But no, what's really funny about this is I have like the most taken podcast name ever.
That's true. I was trying to find a custom URL for the Anchor feed. And I was like, anchor.fm/crow's nest, taken. Anchor.fm/the crow's nest, taken.
Anchor.fm/crow's nest podzol, not taken, because I made up a word.
Well, we didn't.
Well, actually, I stole a
That's
word
not
from
what it
Minecraft.
is.
Well, actually, what?
The custom URL is anchor.fm/crow's nest podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is podcast. Podzol wasn't taken either, though.
Yeah, but that's
because
stupid.
that's the email though, because podcast was taken.
Now, if you want to sign up that email for a bunch of porn websites, you can. That's what fucking Kathy did to the Issue Crew email. That motherfucker, that piece of shit.
Did what?
She just signed up. She signed up to like X videos and like she signed up to a bunch of like weird dating website. I think she signed up for Christian Mingle. She signed up for fucking Dominatrix Meet just so I would get the fucking emails.
Do not do that to my show. Don't want those emails. That email is for people who have actual questions about the fucking show. Pretty much.
Or would like to sign up to Pornhub.com.
No. Don't do that, people. Don't.
Sign up to FarmersOnly.com.
Do not sign me up for Farmers Only. God damn it. I shouldn't have brought up that email.
We didn't even say exactly what it was, so
I'm not gonna say what the exact email is.
rosenestpodzol@gmail.com.
Nah, it's at yahoo.com because I'm weird like that.
He's lying.
Nah. Nah. It's at yahoo.com.
So the point of the episode is they morph, they go do the thing, but then we don't see them do the thing. And Doggy and Cat are like, oh shit, we lost our video feed. We didn't see what happened.
I have a question about this real quick. Since, like, it does technically canonize that everything that we see them do as Power Rangers is technically coming from that video feed.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Cat and Doggy are just prolific watchers of Power Rangers SPD?
Yes, of course. They're the biggest fans.
They are the biggest fans. Wait, what does that make for Sparkle Tits?
Who the fuck is Sparkle
I forgot
Tits?
his name for a minute. Tinkerbell.
Oh. Oh. I didn't really think of Sam and think of tits, so I was like, Sparkle Tits, who?
My first thought was Sparkle Bits, and that didn't work. So then it's like, you know what? Place one with letter.
Did Cat's like cleavage have glitter in it and I didn't notice? Is that the joke? Like,
no. Cat didn't have any of this episode. It was weird.
I don't think she usually has glitter in her cleave. Oh, you just mean cleavage.
Yeah, she didn't have any cleavage. Like, at all. She was wearing, like, the most cover-up outfit.
I think that's kind of usually what she does. I don't think she's usually...
Really.
displaying.
It's more than you think.
God, Cat is hot. Not as hot as Sid though. I'll say
I
that.
disagree.
Well, I understand. There, it's a hard comparison to make, but I would pick
Yeah,
Sid at the end. But
yeah.
anyway,
I would choose Cat all day.
understandable. I will not fault you for that decision.
But
But so that happens. They lost the video feed, so now they gotta. Now they. Now Cat is trying to fix it, but in the meantime, Doggy wants to know what happened. So the Rangers get back, and he's like, "Okay, video feed's down. Tell me what happened." And this is the first gag that I find really funny. So they all start talking at the same time because they're dumb teenagers. And the funniest part of that is you can't really understand what most of them are saying. But I don't know
Sky's
if you
face,
noticed Sky.
Sky's
Not
face.
only his face, but during Sky's like at the end of the recounting, it's just like he's doing like a silly face and he's mimicking the morph motion and just saying SPD emergency.
Yeah, I didn't notice that bit, but I did see his face, and it was just
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's just like SPD emergency, like he's recounting when they morphed, which Doggy was in front of them when they did.
No, they were in the hallway.
I guess.
They had camera footage from the hallway because that's not satellite based, but they
Yeah,
were
that's
in
just
the hallway. So
SPD security cameras.
uh, Doggy didn't technically see it in person, so yeah, the point.
Yes, they all start talking at the same time, and then Doggy's like, "Okay, one at a time, folks." And so now
Start talking.
the rest of the episode is pretty formulaic. We go through each ranger, and they give their recounting of what happened, and all of them are completely uh, completely
Flabbergasted at their
romanticized
own.
and like very centric towards the person telling it. Like Jack tells his story first, and he's like, "I'm the Red Ranger. I'm beating up Crybots." And then Sky's like, "I wish I had blasters like the Red Ranger."
Now, can we talk about the consistencies real quick between all of their stories?
Yes, for one I want to bring up. I
Bridge
guess I
can't
can.
count.
I want to bring that up now. That is the funniest joke in this episode. Is the fact that Bridge's bit during literally all of them is that he's fighting Crybots and he's like 5, 7, 8. Oh wait, did I miss one? Oh, okay, I'll just start over. 1,
One,
2,
two, three.
and the thing is, Bridge vehemently denies it the entire time, including after this. But even in Bridge's own story, he does that.
Exactly.
It's so
Exactly. And
funny.
it's like it is the best bit of this show. Or this episode, I should say. Not the best bit of the show. The best bit of this show comes from a different episode. I can't remember which one off the top of my head because I don't know SPD titles. But
The only SPD titles I know are this one and like Sam Part 1 and 2.
no, there was one during the Dream episode. You know
The
which one I'm
Dream
talking
episode, Insomnia?
Yeah, that.
That was just a clip show, right? That was just
I
like,
think so,
oh, I
but
can't sleep. I gotta. What
there was
have we
also
done
like
as Power
there was also a
Rangers?
couple of bits. I don't remember the specifics of it off the top of my head though. I remember there being like a bit that you and I
That was a
talked
good
about.
clip show. That was like my
The
one
best
thing
clip
is like
show.
it would redeem Sam for me if he participated in that. I was so mad that it didn't happen. Like the thing is
Was
the fact
Doggy
that
in this clip
Sam
show?
he was not. But the fact that Sam is like this little Tinkerbell is like really annoying. But it would at least be like funny if he just acted like he was one of the guys. Like I was so because the Insomnia plot is like all of them one by one come in the room and they're like, oh, I can't sleep because we can't beat Emperor Grum. I was just so waiting for little Tinkerbell to fly in there, just be like, I can't sleep either, guys.
little sparkle things come in. I can't sleep either, guys. I'm sorry. Had brain lagged again, and I was like, "Were you about to reference the bit I did earlier?
What bit did you do earlier?
The accidental bit about Sam,
Oh, it's Sprinkle Tits, Sparkle Tits,
sparkle
not
tits,
Sprinkle Tits. What the fuck?
wrinkle tits."
But
I'm seriously like regretting the fact that I didn't do like joke names about these. But oh well.
but yeah. So Sky is like, I want to be like the Red Ranger and have his blasters and stuff. And
Yes, Bridge can't count.
Bridge can't count. Then Z is like, I'm gonna do like Jack does. And then Sid is like, I'm gonna do like Z does, because Z does like Jack does.
Okay, there's another bit that's done that's just amazing, but it's like very much Sentai footage, and you can tell that it's Sentai footage because I don't think
this whole episode is Sentai footage.
No,
All
what I mean is like there's like certain bits that kind of get cut out of Sentai footage most of the time. Like, the hand thing. And it's just like, oh shit. And that was just one of the things that like screams, this is from the Sentai.
What's interesting about this episode is like, it's definitely also a creative way they got around budget cuts, because like, obviously this episode just uses the same 3 minutes of Sentai footage over and over again. So this episode was definitely made to conserve on budget. That much is kind of plain to see. But they did it creatively in a way that turned into a really fun episode. So I really appreciate that. And they also did give us like the fight at different angles sometimes. We saw different aspects of the fight in one story that they would skip in the other. Like there was definitely like unique bits about every time they showed that footage, even though it was like mostly the same. And then there's the other consistency is at the end. At the end, Sid is always says her line about how the gold's staying, and you green-eyed monster, you're coming with us.
Honestly, my brain like cut that out and like listened to it as, you're coming with us, you green-eyed fuck.
You green-eyed fuck, you green-eyed piece of shit, you stupid green-eyed motherfucker. That's what Sid said in the episode of Power Rangers SPD.
Yes, exactly.
But like it changes like slightly every time. Like she's like
just about every time.
She's like, Jack, can I get him? And Jack's like, yeah, go for it, Sid. And then she says, you're coming with Jack and us also. And the Rangers the rest of the Rangers put their hands in to boost Sid into the sky. She does a sword slasher. That is like the one consistent shot, like in like everyone, is that they all put their hands in. They throw Sid into the air, and Sid does a sword. And more Crybots show up.
Yeah.
Jack kills them, and then they go outside, and Jack's like, yep, so we went outside, we got the Megazord, we saved the gold. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we only get one shot of the Megazord fight, which kind of ticked me off. I'm like, you could have used Megazord footage over and over again. And
I don't want that. Why would I ever want that?
Because there's some funny ass quips from it.
Maybe, but they didn't have enough time.
I know, but they could have put in more fucking funny ass quips.
But yeah, so that happens, and then everybody's like, this is obviously bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about, Jack?
Like, I think even Doggy was in on, like, this is bullshit.
Of course, Doggy knew the whole time. Like, there was not a moment where Doggy believed any of them.
Well, no, okay, here's the funny thing. Out of all of them, Bridges was the most believable.
Oh, yeah, the most believable.
No,
the most believable is the fact that Sid, during her fighting, all she said was, Bridge.
No,
Bridge,
aside from that,
Bridge.
like, he's still embellished a lot. But aside from, like, two things, most of it kind of lined up with what they ended up doing.
So I guess we'll have to circle back to this later as I go through it in order, but I kind of want to talk about it now before I forget. Is this episode trying to imply that Bridge has a crush on Sid? Because that never comes up again. But
I think it's he's just into both of the girls.
But like, even not Z wasn't just saying Bridge, Bridge, Bridge. She was saying, I need Bridge to teach me how to kill robots better. So it was just Sid.
Alone time with Bridge.
Bridge. Oh, that's fair. That's understandable.
It's like the garage.
Well, I mean, we know that Matt Austin ships Bridge and Z, so
exactly. That's my point.
That's so funny. It's so funny to me that Matt Austin wrote a fucking fan fiction. In that fan fiction, he shipped Bridge and Z, which is definitely because Monica May is extremely pretty, and he
and totally not because of the fact that she has an OnlyFans now, people.
Oh yeah, she does. That's true. If you want to see Monica May's naked breasts, they are available in great
They are on her OnlyFans. I'm not going to link to her OnlyFans.
OnlyFans link in the description for Monica May.
I might actually.
It's like, isn't her OnlyFans like fucking $200 or
I'm
something? Like
pretty
it's
sure,
something
yeah.
ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous, but she makes bank off of that motherfucker.
I'm sure she does. But
Now, hey,
so.
hold up. You can't say that if Amy Jo Johnson had one, you wouldn't buy it.
Oh yeah, she did. She did. First of all, she'd make billions of dollars because
She'd be the
the
richest person on the planet.
every male who was a child in the 1990s will be like, holy shit, and they will buy it. So even though she definitely is out of the prime of her youth, I don't know if I would buy it.
I would buy it.
I guess she's not like old, ugly or anything, but she's definitely aged. She's definitely not as pretty as she
Okay,
used to
let me
be.
put it this way: if Hunter, had one, would you buy it?
Oh, 10 million% yes.
Riely would spend his food money on Hunter, OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, if listen, she's a pretty lady, that Hunter Dino. I would probably
Oh my god,
sacrifice sustenance for.
that's how we get Riely.
Enough of Riely is horny. That bit is played out.
That's how we get Riely onto his diet.
It's the Hunter Dino OnlyFans. So I spend money on that instead of food.
Yeah, that's how we
You
get
hear
you on
that,
a
Hunter
diet.
Dino? All you have to do to save the life of a diabetic man is to start an OnlyFans.
That was the bit that I was going for, and it played out. Oh my god, I'm definitely giving this one a joke title.
You can no, you don't need to do that because then
Oh no.
the joke can be a surprise.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'll probably just keep it how I have been. But
I'd say Alicia Parat, but unfortunately she's also aged a decent bit.
who?
Sid.
No, she's still hot.
She kind of isn't anymore. I'm not into it.
What's her name?
What is her name?
The person that plays Gia.
Sierra Hannah.
Sierra Hannah, that's what it was. Would you? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Not that into Sierra Hannah.
That's surprising.
She's pretty, but like I probably wouldn't go out of my way.
She also posts some of the things that could be put on an OnlyFans on her Instagram sometimes, so like
I don't know if she's gone quite that far.
not quite that far, but like there's some body paint pictures.
Unlike her co-star, which literally has posted naked pictures.
Oh wait, yeah, she has. I forgot about that.
Christina Masterson, who played Emma.
This is just talking about Power Rangers OnlyFans now.
Yeah, we need to move on. This is too much.
Yeah.
But so that's the story. And then Sky is like, all right, let me tell the real story. This is the right one. You could put this down as an official report.
Shut up, Sky.
And then, of course, Sky is being an arrogant douchebag because that's who Sky is. He's like,
Yes,
first we entered from the vantage point that yours truly selected. And then, it shows them entering. Sky goes first, and he's like, I'm going to beat all the robots. And then it goes to Jack, who's like, I could beat more Crybots if I used the Delta Striker like Sky does.
And like, I wanted to throw something at him when he said that.
Don't they all have Delta Strikers? Isn't that
no? He doesn't. But his
I thought that was a sidearm.
No, he doesn't have the sidearms.
What?
He does. He has just the pistols.
Okay.
Sky, Sid, Z, and Bridge all have Delta Strikers, but they also have Knuckles that they don't use, which would have been fucking sick. And then they have
like in Deca Ranger, they have Knuckles. You mean?
Well, yeah, but you could punch someone with that.
True.
You could punch someone with that, and it would do some pretty good damage. It's basically brass knuckles, but for cops.
So
Cops
true.
do not get any good ideas.
I mean, cops already have like assault rifles. I don't think they need brass knuckles.
Don't get any ideas, cops. Don't take brass knuckles.
No. Get ideas. Leave your assault rifle at home and just wear brass knuckles. It'll be cool.
Yeah, that's a way better idea. We'll take those assault rifles. We'll take your pistols. Yeah, just replace everything with
Yeah,
brass
brass
knuckles.
knuckles. It'll be cool.
Yeah, it'll be great.
But so yeah, Jack is like, I wish I could use a Delta Striker like the Blue Ranger does. And then Bridge, does the same thing.
Just
What does Z
every time.
say? Z says, "Oh, I'm gonna take down these Crybots just like Sky taught me to do."
When did Sky teach her this?
That's the question that she asks after this story.
Exactly. I was asking that before she said it, and I'm like, Sky and Z do not share enough screen time for this to have happened.
And then I
When did
think
this
Sid.
happen?
What does Sid say? Sid.
I
I
don't
think Sid.
remember.
Just like,
Something embellishing Sky,
I
though.
think Sid just says like, "I want to impress Sky" or like something to that effect.
Yeah, and then
And then same finishing move. Sid comes up and says, "You green-eyed monster, you're coming with Sky, and the rest of us also."
see, okay, I have something dumb I want to say about Z's story. Okay,
Well, we're
just
not.
real quick, or
Come
not
on, we're
Z's
not
story,
even there yet.
not
Oh,
even
you mean
Z's
Sky's
story.
story?
Yeah, not Sky's. Fuck,
Whose?
Sid. I don't know why I
Sid's
said.
is the last one.
I know, but let me say this real quick, okay?
Okay.
Every single one of them was embellishing someone else. Sid's did not embellish herself in that like little bit. Her thing when her story came up, it was literally, I hope I do this good so I can impress the others.
Well, yes, but she did embellish the fact that everyone else said, "I need to
Well,
do
yeah,
this
she
good so I
embellished
can
everybody
impress
else. She
Sid."
did not embellish herself, but that was a way less quippy line than what she actually said. That was what I was about to get at. Was the
That's,
way less quippy line.
that is like a subtle character thing. I think that she has some level of insecurity that is
Yeah,
played into that story.
and
Uh,
it's a great thing in my opinion. But then you have her actual quip, which was, I hope you know I was 3-time world fencing champion, and it's just, wow, it's chef's kiss. Sorry, that line is perfection.
and you had to blow the load on it early.
Yes, I did, because I was getting tired of winning.
That's fair. That is a good line. I do like that.
That line was great.
I thought she said it in one of the other stories, and I was like,
No,
where? I was like, I remember there being a fencing line in this episode. Am I wrong? And then no, it did come up at the end.
yeah, it came up at the very end and was like very, very good. But why did no one else keep that line? I feel like out of anybody, Bridge probably should have kept that instead of her just saying bridge, 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 bridge.
Bridge. That's the funniest. That's like that's not the funniest thing because Bridge telling his own story and still fucking up the Crybots is the funniest thing. But I think the second funniest thing is the fact that Sid just says bridge, bridge, bridge during Bridge's story.
Like, out of all of them, I get the other people like embellishing towards themselves with them, but like Sid's didn't embellish towards herself, but she still wasn't being truthful.
It's true. But anyway, so yeah, so Sky's story concludes. Megazord, then we got the Megazord, we saved the gold, everything was cool. And
It was
then
great, man.
everybody was like, "This is bad." And
This is
then
bullshit.
Bridge goes to tell his story, and he's like, "Okay, so I woke up this morning and I couldn't figure out what to have for breakfast. I was thinking maybe cereal, maybe
Avocado
some toast." And then Doggy's like, "Carson, pay attention." And then Bridge goes into his real story. He was the only one to enter like they did in special enter class.
That was also a really good thing.
he does like a spy jump.
No. He does the little bunny hops.
Well, the bunny hops is after. He does like
Oh wait, yeah, that's right
he
after.
does like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
flip in like spy entrance, which is the special entry class. And he's like, "Follow me. We got to sneak around like this." And he does like the little bunny sneak. And then all the other rangers are just like, "What is he doing?" I guess we'll just like follow him. I guess.
Bunny hop, bunny hop, bunny hop, bunny hop. Sorry, that is probably another one. Bridge just had some really good bits in this episode.
Yeah, Bridge is pretty good.
His story might have been bullshit, but it was clearly the funniest one out of all of them.
That's
You have to
true.
admit.
Well, I'm trying to think of what I think is the funniest one. Bridge is probably up there. I kind of like Z's too, but we'll get there. So yeah, Bridge does his special entrance. He does the bunny hops, and then the fight actually starts. Bridge goes 5, 7, 8. No, wait, 1, 2.
Like, even
And
in
then
Bridge's own story, he still messed it up.
he's still, even though he insists, even after he tells the story that he didn't do it, in his own story he does it.
Yeah.
But Jack is like, "Wow, Bridge has gotten so many Crybots. It must be 100 by now." And Sky's like, "I can't get as many as Bridge gets." And then Z is
That also sounds like Sky when he tries to get bitches.
true. I feel like Sky does have the least Riz of the 3 boys.
Yeah, it's Jack. Got
Jack
the
has the most by far.
most. It's Bridge.
Bridge
I
has
feel like
probably
Doggy
not
has
a
more.
lot, but Sky has none.
I feel like Doggy has way more riz than Sky.
Even though a lot of people ship, not Bridge, Sky and Sid, which I do
That's
not.
dumb.
I was a big Jack and Sid shipper, which it broke my heart when they introduced fucking 2 episodes before the end random girlfriend character for Jack, Power Rangers SPD.
Can we also talk about how
She
Doggy
literally
has
sits
more?
in his lap. I swear, this
Yeah,
happened.
I know. It happened in the Dream episode. Remember?
Sid gave him her birthday. They're a couple. Fuck Allie. Allie sucks.
Okay, on another topic, Doggy has more riz than Sid, or not Sid, Sky.
I mean, I think there's obviously something going on between Doggy and Cat. So
I mean, obviously, dude has way
Doggy
more riz
definitely
than
has some
Sky.
level of Riz.
Doggy has way more fucking riz than Sky. And Sky tries to mimic himself after Doggy and just fails.
Sad boy hours for Sky.
With no riz. Imagine the actor who played Sky listening to this.
I'm sure Chris Violette has plenty of Riz.
Oh yeah,
Sky
but
doesn't.
but I know. But what I imagine just eventually getting a comment like Sky has the most riz. No, he doesn't.
From Chris Violette, Sky has the most
Just from
Riz.
anybody who is either a Sky stan or Chris Violet. That would just be fucking hilarious.
I hope his name is Chris Violette and I'm not just making this up.
I'll check real quick. Hold on. Because I already have Brandon J. McLaren pulled up, so I can just click 2 buttons. Yeah, it's Chris Violet.
Okay, I was right.
And then, yeah, I cannot say her last name, I don't think.
You know, there was an episode of SPD I was gonna pitch to you to watch because you were originally hesitant to do Perspective.
That's because I had forgotten what Perspective was.
I explained to you what it was, and you're like, "Oh, that one, maybe."
No, I was like, maybe, because I'm like, do I remember everything about this one right? And then we watched it, I'm like, yeah, I remember this one right.
Yeah, it's a great episode, but I think one of the best episodes of SPD is I believe it's a 2-parter where, funny enough, I don't remember a lot of the actual proceedings of the episode. I just know it was emotionally done very well, and the brilliance of like how it was executed. Do you remember the episode where Sky has to go, he has to go interrogate like an evil alien that has power to like travel through reflective surfaces? And
Guy becomes the Red Ranger episode that I had pitched.
Is that the same episode?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I had pitched that to you, and you told me no.
Fuck! I didn't realize those were the same.
Yeah, that's the motherfucker that killed Sky's dad.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was the same episode. Shit.
What episode would that be?
I don't know. I knew there was an episode where Sky became the Red Ranger, but I didn't know it was that same one.
We're covering that one next week. Fuck it.
I thought we were talking about Dino Thunder video game time.
We're gonna cover Dino Thunder video game the week after, but we're covering that one next.
We gotta cover Dragon Ball Evolution too. I'm gonna be on the show a lot, folks. Let's just make that very clear.
Yeah, he is like my co-host and editor, so of course he's gonna be on here a lot. He's not the co-host for this show specifically, but he is for Megazord Radio. So.
I mean, I feel like we're gonna get to the point where I might as well be.
Maybe. Maybe after like 20 episodes and you just consistently on.
I'm on like 17 of them out of the 20.
Like 17 out of the 20, and then the other 2 are with Jack and one's with Kathy.
Yep. Are you just never gonna do one with Kathy again? Is she banned?
Not without somebody else there. Mostly because Kathy. No offense to Kathy. Kathy's not a really good co-host.
Well, that's a little rude. That's a little mean to
doesn't.
Kathy.
She doesn't cover like as many of the jokes as you and I do. You get what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
Like
there's like a balance that needs to be struck. That's like
I get that.
a good
And hence why
co-host
I like doing them
relationship
with
is where
both of you. Hence
where
why
each of
I
us.
like doing them with both of you, though.
That's fair, but like I used to do them with just Kathy all the time, and that was the thing. Like I was the funny guy, and she was the like film student, the pretentious
The
film
film
student.
And
And
it felt really hard to finish an episode with just her and me by ourselves. That makes sense?
yeah, it's fair.
Like that's the main reason I don't want to do them with just Kathy. Is like it felt really hard to finish the episode. Because we had 30 minutes of good content, and then we just hit a like drag. And I was just like, fuck, what do I do? So
Yeah,
not really bad by any means, but it's just way easier to carry on a show with you. If that makes sense.
yeah, I gotcha.
I feel like I'm gonna hit the same thing with Jack, and I'm prepared to do it with Jack. But then also the other thing is, I really don't want to hear him bitch about something for an hour and a half just to bitch at it.
Well, I mean, bitching at stuff is fun.
Yeah,
Like,
but when it's not an inherently bad thing that you watched, and he's just bitching at it because made it.
oh yeah, well, that's bullshit. I fucking
Yeah.
hate that shit.
That's like what Kathy was doing that one episode.
That's what Jack pissed me off when I was like, hey, I like asked him about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Pink before I read it. And he said he said it wasn't good, and I asked why, and he said because the person who wrote it made a lot of other things I don't like. And I was like, wait.
Oh, also, I need you to help me cover
real?
Glass Onion just to piss him off.
I want to watch fucking Glass Onion. I've never even seen Knives Out. Knives Out.
Like, okay, real quick. First off, they're like really disconnected aside from one character who doesn't really talk about the first movie anyway. So there's not much to like know between the two.
That's fair.
It's like a technical sequel, but it's really you don't need to watch the other one to have seen it. They also took Knives Out off of Netflix when they put Glass Onion on it, so you can't really
wow.
Yeah, it pissed me off because I wanted to watch both of them in a night.
Well, I'm sure Knives Out is on something. It's not on Netflix.
Cinev.net.
But well, yes, but also like a real streaming service.
It's a Netflix original. No, it really can't be.
That's not No, Knives Out came out in theaters, and so did
Glass
Onion.
I thought it was a Netflix movie. Hold on.
No.
Yeah, Netflix acquired the rights to the franchise in 2021.
What?
Yeah,
then why the fuck would they take it off? That makes no sense.
I don't know, but they acquired the rights to both 2 and 3. I don't think they technically have
the first. So I assume Knives Out 1 is on another service of some sort.
Maybe.
Knives Out is on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay, so I can just watch it on Hulu.
Yes.
We can cover Knives Out just to piss off Jack, and then we can cover Glass Onion on Netflix.
The only thing I know about Knives Out is like there's a movie review podcast I listen to called Is It Kino that even if I don't watch the movie, I usually listen to the episode unless I plan to watch the movie in the future and am avoiding spoilers. And I remember Knives Out was one of those movies. There was a tepid era of Is It Kino where like they would just quit for months at a time and like a bunch of planned reviews would never happen. And they were like very adamant about how they were going to review Knives Out, and it just never occurred.
So you want to do it before them?
Well, I mean, they've already done Glass Onion, so I think at this point they've just they've redeemed it.
Yeah, maybe.
But, fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, so we were on Bridge's story. Sky is like, I can't get as many as Bridge does. And Z is like, I need Bridge to teach me how to kill robots better. And then Sid, of course, says, Bridge. And then and then they get up there for Sid's attack, and she's like, "Bridge, bridge, bridge! Oh, bridge! Should I get him, bridge?"
Should I get it, Bridge?
And Bridge is like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay, Bridge wants me to tell you that the gold's staying. And you green-eyed monster, you're going with Bridge."
Green-eyed freak. That's what
Bridge
she
is like,
actually
"Yeah."
said. And I heard it as you green-eyed fuck every time.
She said green-eyed monster.
But she said the green-eyed freak.
No. The line is the gold is staying here, and you green-eyed monster, you're coming with usually the person she's talking about. You're coming with Bridge.
Or me. Or us.
And us also.
Or Sky. Or Z. It just changes depending on who's telling the story, and it's great.
And then, Sid kills the monster. Use the Megazord, save the gold. Blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, Bridge, you idiot.
Bridge, you idiot. I totally expected Z to just pull out a knife and try and stab him for that one.
Okay. A little
No, wait, no, Sid, sorry.
Yeah, Sid was surprisingly casual about the fact that in Bridge's recounting, she just whimsically says his name 15 times.
Yeah, she was surprisingly casual, and I was just expecting her to
she just
try and
mocks
stab
it
him.
in a fun, cute way.
Oh my god. Imagine people shipping Bridge and Sid.
I mean, that wouldn't be the worst ship. It'd be better.
That wouldn't be the worst.
It'd be better than Sky and Sid. Fucking losers out there shipping Sid and Sky.
But now Bridge and Z is where it's at.
I don't know if I ship Bridge with anybody. I feel like Bridge is.
I've also seen people on the internet.
Bridge is a MGTOW.
Sky.
Bridge is a man going his own way.
Bridge is the Shaggy of Power Rangers.
Bridge can pick up Allie on the rebound after Jack comes to his senses and
goes out with Sid. But no. Hear me out, okay? Bridge is the Shaggy of Power Rangers.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the bit.
Anyway, so we are on Z's story?
We're on Z's story, which I really like, because she kind of starts to pitch it reasonably. You start to think that maybe Z is telling the right story. And then the monster says, "Who are you?" And she's like, "I'm the Yellow Ranger!" And she just starts fucking killing Crybots. And then Jack's like, "Z's the best, and I knew her before any of you did."
You gotta admit, that was a funny thing to add on.
Yeah, that was a good callback.
That is also a technical truth.
And then Sky says, Z. Z
has his crush on Sky.
Whoa. Honestly, I could see that.
I could see that too.
I don't think Sky and Z would be a bad ship. But, yeah, so Sky
Wait, weren't you just saying something about that being bad? No, that was Sid.
I was saying Sky and Sid was bad.
Yeah, that was Sky and Sid.
Just because they had one cute scenes about throwing diamonds at each other. They're just friends, guys. Okay, that scene was adorable.
You've never thrown diamonds at your friends?
That scene was adorable.
What? You've never thrown diamonds at your friends, guys?
Yeah, every day.
Every day, man. Every day. I throw rings at them too.
Well, they were, to be clear, they were guarding a diamond crates full of diamonds. They had diamonds available to them casually.
Snowball fight made out of diamonds.
Basically.
Hey, everybody, let's go rob a diamond mine and go have a snowball fight with diamonds and then return them. It feels like something Z would do.
Well, no, that's what Sid did.
I said robbing a diamond mine and then returning them.
Oh, just for fun? Just
for fun. Robbing a diamond mine, going and having a diamond snowball fight, and then returning the diamonds once she's done. That feels like something Z would do.
Perhaps.
Most likely with Sid, but it still feels like something Z would do.
But, I just remember, this is for a completely different episode, but I had to bring this up. I think this is another really funny exchange. The SPD cast is just so good at being fun. There was the aforementioned episode where Sid gives her birthday to Jack, Beforehand, the conflict of the episode is that Jack is like making her go on a stakeout with him on her birthday because, like, I thought you didn't care about your birthday, and he says that, and Sid just says, "I lied."
Sid always cares about something every single episode.
I choose Sid to go on the stakeout, but it's my birthday. I thought you said you didn't care about your birthday.
I
lied. But so that's Z's story, or yeah, like Jack's like, I knew her before you did. This guy's like, Z. Bridge does his failed counting. Sid says something nice about Z. I don't quite remember.
I don't remember what Z said or Sid said either. Honestly, he
But
said something.
then
She said something.
Z's like, go get him, girl, and Sid's like, the gold is staying here, and you green-eyed monster, you're coming with us. And then, so hands in, sword slash, yada yada yada. Z blows away the extra Crybots, and then we used the Megazord, we saved the gold, we did the stuff.
Hey, I have a question real quick.
What's up?
Out of all of the episodes that you wish was the true, or out of all of the episode or stories that you wish was the true story, or that have been told, which one do you think should have been the true story over introducing?
I don't think any of them should be, because they were all stupid and
over introducing
exaggerated.
Tinkerbell.
Well, I mean, introducing Tinkerbell, yeah, that is an unfortunate blotch on this episode, that it is the introduction of Mr. Tinkerbell Man. But I just don't think any of the stories would have made sense to be true. Like, I don't think I could pick one and be like, yeah, that tracks, that makes sense.
I can kind of see Bridges to an extent, but not nearly as much as, like, there's like bits and pieces that you can pick out of each of them that kind of make sense.
Like, yeah, and that was kind of the point when they show it at the end. It's kind of like we see like little bits and pieces from each one, and the Ranger's like, yeah, I did do that thing I said. Kinda.
Except
yes, that's Z's story, and then Sid's like, that's wrong, and then Doggy's like, do you have a version of that, Miss Drew? And she's like, yeah, and this is the true one. And part of me when I first watched this thought that Sid was just going to tell the truth, but no. She also does it a little bit.
Like, it would have been amazing if she had just told the truth.
I think Sid's is like the most straightforward. It's the least like completely romanticized. Like, I think literally Jax, Sky, and Z all say the same thing, and it's like, I hope I make this look good so I can impress Sid. And then Sid's like, I hope I make this look good so I can impress the others, which is good. I like.
Which is like probably my favorite bit out of this episode.
And then green-eyed monster, blah blah blah. And a bit we haven't been mentioning is when they untie the guard. Usually, I think in a couple stories, she's like, don't thank me, thank the Red Ranger, or don't thank me, thank Sky. And then in her version, she's like, don't thank me, thank. Oh wait, no, actually, do thank me. Actually,
actually, do thank me. Like, the little bit of embellishment that she has right there is amazing, and that's like she has the others embellish her, but she doesn't embellish herself really, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, it's
that makes sense.
Good. Yeah, so she finished them off. Then we got the Megazord, save the gold, yada yada yada. And then Doggy's like, I think it's quite clear that this is never going to be quite clear. And then Cat's like, hey, I have it quite clear on the video feed. So Cat's
character.
Cat restores the video feed. We see the real version. They each kind of have their cool moment. Jack's like, I love Crybots for breakfast. And Sky's like, I'll take these ones.
No, I love Crybots before breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Because he said that in his version too, remember?
Yeah. And then Jack's like, yeah, I did say that. And Sky's like, I'm going to get these bots. And this guy's like, yeah, that's what happens.
That's not what he said in his, though.
And then Bridge is like, 5, 6, 8.
5, 7, 8.
Or Bridge is kind of, 5, 7, 8. Wait, I gotta start over.
1,
And
2,
he's
3.
just kind of like moving his tongue around his cheek, like
Maybe I did say that.
Z is like, I'm gonna. He's like, robots like you give good robots a bad name. And he's like,
Which was also a
cool.
better quip than what she'd said.
And then Sid said, "Dude, this fencing." What was the line about the fencing again?
It said,
Did I mention
I'm
that
sure
I'm a
you didn't know
three-time
this,
fencing
but I was
champion?
3-time world champion of fencing.
Yeah,
And
that's
just
pretty
proceeds
good.
to stab a dude in the gut.
Yeah, she was doing like fencing moves with her sword.
Yeah, that's what she does. She is a legitimate fencer, and it's amazing.
And then a fun little detail is that all of them exaggerated the finisher attack to just be Sid. Because in the actual story, they all attack, and then Sid finishes them off. But in all of the stories that they were telling, they skip the part where they all attack, and it's just the other Rangers putting their hands in and then bumping Sid up.
Yeah, which I think was kind of nice, and that's partially what leads into them kind of embellishing Sid and her story.
Yeah,
which I think kind of played into how she was telling it, because they were all kind of embellishing her, so she wanted to like play into that, which I think was nice.
I mean, who among us would not want to embellish Sid if you were telling a story about her? You know, you want to make her smile, you want to make her feel good.
Exactly. And it kind of shows that all of them are like really care about Sid and don't want to hurt her feelings. Like all of the other ones, they didn't really care, but when it came to Sid, everybody was saying nice things about Sid.
Yes, we all gotta be nice to Sid.
Everybody be nice to Sid, which I thought was amazing.
But so, you know, Sid does a sword slash, and then the extra robots show up. But they get overwhelmed. They can't blast through them. None of them can. Not Z, not Jack, not anybody.
Well, Z could have. Z just stood there.
Maybe. But they all get overwhelmed by the Crybots.
And reach for her thing.
They all get overwhelmed by Crybots, and who comes to the rescue but Tinkerbell from the Disney movie Peter Pan? She flies in.
No. It's Tinkerbell from the Neverland movies.
What?
The like Disney Channel movies about Tinkerbell and her friends.
Okay.
It's those specifically.
Okay, no, instead.
It is specifically that Tinkerbell. Because this Tinkerbell talks.
True.
That's my point. That was what I was getting at. It's like it's this one because this one talks.
This Tinkerbell talks like Sonic the Hedgehog. Hey guys, it's me, Sam. I'm here to help. Way past cool. They don't know that he's Sam yet. He's just a little sparkly ball.
He's still only Tinkerbell.
And he kills all the Crybots, and then they go use the Megazord. We actually see the Megazord this time. What were the... Oh, I guess Sid, like, reading him his rights, or not reading his rights, but, like, reading all the crimes that he was accused of was pretty good, because she's like...
Yeah, and the way that she was reading it was really funny, because she, like, forgot one and had to go back and check her notes.
Wait, what? I don't remember that
like,
one.
mentally check her notes for a second. She, like, paused and was like, wait,
she's like, you're guilty of trying to steal the world's gold supply, beating us up, and driving a robot without a license.
Yeah, no, tying up the guard.
Oh, tying up the guard.
Yeah, she had forgotten that one.
The gold, and
the little pause was just amazing. She was just like mentally checking her notes. What did I forget? What
was I thinking of? But yeah, so Megazord finishes off the monster.
Turns him into a card. We're back to the start of the episode.
And Doggy's like, interesting. Different, but interesting. And they have a little debrief. The Rangers are like, what's that sparkling ball? And Doggy's like, I don't know. I guess we have to find out next episode.
Jack's the only one that called it out.
Yeah. And then Doggy's like, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out in the next episode of Power Rangers SPD what that ball was. And the episode ends with Doggy and Cat are about to leave, and Doggy's like, and he teaches the moral of the episode. He's like, in an event being recounted by participants, it's all a matter of personal perspective. And Jack's like, yeah, but we kind of exaggerate a little bit. Well, they kind of exaggerate a little bit. I don't know about me. And then they just start bickering again, like dumb teenagers. And then Doggy just whispers to Cat, like, let's get out of here. Yeah. And they walk out.
Episode ends. And roll credits. I swear, I think Doggy like put his hand up and was just like roll credits.
This episode was so fun and charming. I love this. I love this episode.
Okay, so I stole your questions, by the way. I'm not sure if you heard that part.
I figured. I did not hear my part, but I assumed you stole my questions. So
Yeah, because I couldn't think of more questions, but I did change one of them. Okay, the ranking is not from 0 to 10; it's from 0 to 100 now.
That's really dumb.
It is, but I had to differentiate from the issue crew somewhat.
It's not. You didn't have to. You could have stolen everything.
I wasn't gonna steal everything, and made Kathy admit to this as well. But so favorite character.
I mean, yours would have been different because you weren't implementing the negative scale that we have and never use.
Wait, y'all have a negative scale? What?
Yes, so there's a mechanic in issue crew movie reviews that almost never gets used because we haven't really watched a movie that falls into this category. But if a movie is like a so bad it's good type movie, like it's good because it's awful, then you would apply a negative number to it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mine's just 0 to 100. I might end up stealing that though, and change out the ranking system.
And like it is like -10 is the best, but ironically, like it's still like an upward scale. So like
Yeah. I
it's
get
like
that.
this movie is so bad that it's the best thing I've ever seen. That it's a -10 out of 10.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so favorite character.
Sid.
Sid.
Yeah, they all had
It's
good
not
work in
hard
this
to pick that.
episode, but I think Sid definitely took a lot of the spotlight. She had a lot of the good moments. She did the final judgment on the monster. She did the finisher
Twice.
move. She
Well,
said
actually,
green-eyed
6
monster about 7 times. Like she definitely brought it this episode. I feel like she was definitely the most central of them, and I think she performed quite well. You agree, Sid? Also,
Yeah, Sid as well. Favorite scene.
Shit, this is hard.
I'll go ahead and put mine in just so that it's easy to.
I guess like one story would count as a scene. So
Yeah. Mine, the entirety of Bridget's story.
yeah, I'm going with Bridget's story too. I think like I can't. The funniest thing to me is first of all that he even fucks up the counting in his own story, and second of all that all Sid says is bridge, bridge, bridge. Like it's I love it.
There's also the bunny hopping.
And the little bunny hop and the special entrance class.
Exactly. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
Bridget's story. What's your ranking from? I'm not going
100 out of 100. This is literally
97. I'll give it a 90.
Okay, that's fair.
It's not quite perfect. There's still one episode that I do like better. But
I think like there are episodes that are like dramatically better, right? But like this episode like sticks out to me in terms of all of Power Rangers as this is a really fun episode. This is one of my favorites. Like it's probably somewhere in my top 5. I'm trying to think of what my real like top Power Rangers episodes are. Number one is Fighting Spirit, the Dino Thunder episode where Tommy fights all of his past selves in Dreamland, and also the unmorphed Power Rangers who don't have their powers just go out and fight a monster because they have to, because if they don't, who will? And that's always the best. Fighting Spirit is my favorite episode of Power Rangers, 100%. Number 2 is probably For Crying Out Loud, the Zeo episode.
Yeah, you told me about that, and we watched that.
I think number 3 is Perspective.
Fair enough. Okay, so I also stole one more question of yours that you have taken off of Issue Crew.
Which character do I want to fuck?
Yeah, most fuckable character.
You actually took that?
Yeah, I didn't use it last one, but it was like anytime Riley's on, I'm gonna make him answer this question because it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
I just think it's a played out bit, and like me being horny is not funny anymore. Like that's already that joke has been run into the ground. But like, Riley's a coomer. He likes Clussy.
Answer the damn question.
I mean, Sid.
Obviously. From this
episode
episode of
Cat,
Power,
right?
From this episode of Power Rangers specifically, it is Sid, but 9 times out of 10, it's Cat.
That's fair.
Like, it depends on how like Cat prominent the episode is, honestly. Make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Riley, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me. My link's in the description twice because I'm the editor. It's my link tree. linktr.ee/Riely Cinematic Universe. It has links to, my Twitter, my YouTube channels, all my podcasts, all sorts of fun stuff that I enjoy making and you should enjoy consuming. So go check it out.
And you can find me on Twitter at Crow Royalty or on YouTube at or I think it's at the Crow's Nest Podcast, right? Yeah, at the Crow's Nest Podcast.
No, it's at Crow Royalty
Well,
on
it's
YouTube.
at Crow Royalty, but the Crow's Nest Podcast, where you're probably listening.
Yeah, the Crow's Nest Podcast is the name of the channel, but the at for the URL is at Crow Royalty. So if you go to youtube.com/at Crow Royalty, that is how you would get it.
Yeah, and then you can find this episode and our first episode on podcast or Spotify
and Anchor.fm. Future podcast platforms probably soon if I stop being lazy.
I have to set those up. I'm just going to use Anchor.fm.
No, Anchor.fm is you can use Anchor.fm and distribute it to other podcast platforms, which I can do for you. I just will need to remember to do it and not be lazy.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
I don't even think I've done it with Megazord Radio yet. Like, I should probably get that on Apple soon.
Yeah, probably. But you can also find our podcast or this podcast specifically at podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/
just real quick,
podcast.
I would like to make it clear that even though the name has changed, Anchor.fm links still work. So if you want something a little more convenient, and this is what's linked in the description on the YouTube too, it's Anchor.fm/Crow's Nest Podcast.
Yeah. You should also check out Megazord Radio, our other show that we do.
Yep, it's a kind of weekly but not really lately podcast where we do two Power Rangers episodes every time, kind of like this, except I take like detailed notes, so it's a little bit more in depth. But basically like this, because I did recount the whole plot. Basically,
you recounted the entire thing.
So
I didn't really have much to say about the things that he was, or about like the individual things. I got out most.
I feel like you talked enough. Say. Did you not talk a lot?
You talked way more than me.
That's fair. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take over your show like that.
You're good. It was your call on the episode, so I was just gonna let you. Once we do Red Ranger Sky, the episode, I'm gonna fucking go off.
You're gonna recount? Okay.
I'm gonna go off on this motherfucker. Because like my brain is disconnected, but that episode is just lives everywhere, rent free in my brain. Just constant memories of that episode. Because that was one of the first SPD episodes I ever watched. It was on the SPD DVD that I had. It was like one of the bonus episodes that it had, so it had like skipped a couple. If I remember right, I had one of the SPD DVDs I had. It had the episode that introduced Doggy Kruger. Had a couple, or the episodes that introduced Doggy Kruger as a ranger. Had like 2 other episodes, and then I remember Sky becoming the Red Ranger as like one of the pivotal parts of my fucking childhood. Do not remember what the episode title is, so I'll find that later.
I'm still so pissed. The worst thing about SPD is just the cowardice, the sexism and cowardice behind the last 5 minutes of the final episode, where it has been made expressly clear to us, the viewer, the entire show, that color and rank are synonymous. The colors are numbered, they're ranked. And then when Jack leaves the team, Sky becomes the Red Ranger, and Bridge moves up to blue, but Z and Sid are still yellow and pink.
Okay, I think Z stayed at yellow because she wanted to be yellow.
I mean, sure, but like whatever your color preference is.
I do know that. She did say that in the comic at one point.
What, like Monica May said that?
No.
Or no. Sky or Z in the. Did they do an SPD comic? Or was was this Shattered Grid stuff?
I think so.
Okay.
She was still yellow there, but I think Sid did move up to green at one point.
To green?
Yeah, because she ended up being blue, if I remember right, while Bridge was the Red Ranger, because there was a female blue in the comic. Okay. And then JJ was green.
Are you sure that female blue wasn't Z?
I'm not sure if that was Z or not, but pretty sure she just stayed at yellow because there was still a female yellow.
Which would have been Sid if Z was blue.
Well, technically, Sid should have been green, but
Oh, that's true. That's true.
so you really want to argue?
Yeah, like in the last episode, Z should have been green and Sid should have been yellow, but they did not do that.
Yeah, and then in Once a Ranger, Bridge is red, and it's just like.
Well, they explain that because then.
Oh, I know.
Because Sky becomes the Shadow Ranger, so
No,
Bridge
Sky
becomes
Deca Ranger.
What?
Yeah, he doesn't become the Shadow Ranger. He becomes the Deca Ranger.
No, he doesn't. He becomes the Shadow Ranger. What the fuck are you talking about?
The comics.
Okay, maybe in the comics he becomes the Deca Ranger, but before that he becomes the Shadow Ranger. That's what they say in Once a Ranger. They say that Doggy became like the central commander of SPD. So yeah, Sky became the Shadow Ranger, and Bridge
because the comics basically said he didn't want to take up the Shadow Ranger mantle in case Doggy ever did need to return. So he took up a new mantle as the Deca Ranger. The comics kind of retcon that.
I see.
That or he only temporarily had the Shadow Ranger mantle. And it was like very minor because I feel like he would have kept the Shadow Ranger suit had he stayed as the Shadow Ranger. Or had he been the Shadow Ranger for very long. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, no, join us whenever the fuck, because we're going to be doing a couple more of these, because we have, 2 more episodes we're going to do? Yeah. One of which is a 2-parter.
Well, we're not going to do 2 separate episodes for each part.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it's 2 separate episodes, but we are going to cover a 2-parter. That's probably next week. Also be on the lookout for an episode about the Saint Seiya movie, and one about... what was it that I said earlier?
What was it that you said earlier?
I was talking to Jack about a different movie.
Oh, and an episode about Dragon Ball Evolution. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. That's what it was. I was talking to Jack about possibly doing Dragon Ball, and he was like, "Hell no." I'm like, "Fuck you. I'm gonna do Dragon Ball Evolution." But be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for a couple of book reviews that I have planned.
Can we do Juno on this show? I'll review Juno again. I'll review Juno 100 times.
I will gladly review Juno.
Hell
I was
yeah.
mad when I was on.
Let's fucking go.
I was kind of mad when I learned you did that without me.
I mean, I barely knew you when I did Juno.
I know, but I was kind of mad when I learned you did that without me. There will also be stop motion movies in the works. I'm still trying to figure out which ones. Likely not gonna do Coraline on here. Probably gonna do that on the Issue Crew.
Wait, why?
Because Kathy, I thought you said you wanted to do Coraline on the Issue Crew.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Just be on the lookout for those. I'm on the Issue Crew a decent chunk, so
Issue Crew movie reviews.
Issue Crew movie reviews specifically. I'm trying to weasel my way into this.
No, you can't be in the Issue Crew.
Why not?
You can't be in the Issue Crew because you probably won't send us a picture of your real face, and the Issue Crew head has to be a fictional depiction of your real face.
Since when did I say I would not do that?
I guess you're right. And I also
I will send you one right fucking now.
You don't jive with that group, I don't think.
I mean, the only people who have been against it have been people that you said were against it that ended up not really being against it.
Because you do this thing where I can tolerate this because I do it too, just not to the same extent. But
I give no fucks what I talk about.
That's the thing, right? You would have a lot of trouble staying on topic, and that pisses people off. Demi Gloom, I feel would hate you because you're gonna do the same thing Blackbird did on the Death Stream, which is just talk about other shit.
I mean, I try to avoid that for the most part. It's usually something connected back to what the main
time in Super Sentai when Don Momotaro.
Yeah, I was being dumb. That was the point of that, was that no one else would get this aside from you and I.
That's not funny a lot of the time.
I
Gotta
know, but like
remember that.
the fucking Lupin Ranger thing was really
Maybe
fucking funny.
listen. We'll have you on as a guest a couple times. We'll see if people like you. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm still waiting on Crow versus Kathy.
The Crow versus Kathy debate.
I'm still waiting on this.
I don't know. I feel like epic debates is a curse. I don't know if I want to do it again.
I really want to do it.
Mo Diggity almost quit the issue crew because of epic debates.
Why?
That's not actually why, but it was somewhat connected.
What happened to Mo Diggity? Also, we should end this podcast. I have been Crow Royalty.
Well, to be clear, nothing happened to Mo Diggity. Everything is good now. We're all good. We're all good in the neighborhood.
Mo's still on the issue crew. Don't worry. We should probably end this podcast before it goes for 6 hours.
Okay.
I have been Crow Royalty.
And I've been Riely. I don't know why I forgot my own name for a second.
Okay, we will see you on the next one. Later, guys.
Goodbye.